I couldn't have picked a better person to join me today. My dear friend, Wendi Swope, is here. We're going to be talking about a lot of things, but really the kind of putting the focus on the Texas Panhandle First Responders Memorial, kind of doing a big push to get some donations across the finish line so we can break ground. So we're going to get there. But first off, Wendi, it is good to have you here. I told you this is going to be super casual.
Yes.
She brought her Diet Dr. Pepper. We are ready to roll. Let's kind of start because I want to talk about how proud I am of you that I am because I've known Wendi since I think it was like 98, wasn't it? Like
The
19?
year we started working here.
Yeah. So I started I think in the winter of 97. I think you were in the spring of 98. And we've been dear friends ever since. And I'm just so happy on your career arc. You went out on your own.
Yeah.
You were on news. You did a little bit of everything, and then you were like, "Hey, I don't want to work for anybody anymore."
Yeah.
How did that happen? How did you go from doing news all the way to owning your own company?
It's been the most amazing journey, and you're going to make me cry saying you're proud of me. So thank you for
No, it's
for
true.
saying
It's
that.
true.
When I left the news, I went and worked for Representative John Smithy as his district director, and I fell in love with politics, the good part of politics, if there is a good part of politics.
Yeah.
But that's the politician to work for. You
Yeah.
know, that guy's he's truly the best. And so I got to see that and work for the Texas House of Representatives. And then when I left there, I went to Texas Tech Health Sciences Center and ran their marketing department. And then at some point in time after I'd been there a while, I felt the need to go and do something on my own. And I had an opportunity to work with someone who had started an agency here in Amarillo a long time ago to start mine. And I was able to combine my marketing experience, my political experience, and all my news experience into this one business. And it's been absolutely amazing. I learned that a majority of my clients in the beginning came from people I had already known and made connections with,
Yeah.
so it was just a really good fit. And we're in our 18th year,
That
which
is crazy. That makes me feel really old
I know.
because it doesn't seem like that long ago when you were a producer here and then you were a news anchor at 10.
Yes.
And then, man, we've been at it a while.
We have been at it a while, and it's crazy to think about the years and how quickly they've gone. And even, especially when I'm watching the news and watching you, I mean, we were on air together at some point in time. So it's just crazy to see and to know how that much time has passed. But it was the most amazing jump for me, and it's been wonderful. And I have this amazing team of people who have been with me for a very long time.
Yeah.
And we're to the point we get to choose our partners, which we love. So we're partnered with some amazing businesses in Amarillo and just try to do our best to help them.
I think that's great when you can do that, where you can say, "Hey, we've been doing this long enough." And if something doesn't mesh, if the companies don't mesh, it's not like, "Hey, we got to have this money." It's like, this ain't it.
That's exactly right. And from day one, people would ask me about a contract, and I'd say, we're not going to sign a contract because if you don't want to work with me or I don't want to work with you, nobody should have to do that. It needs to be a good partnership. We're coming into these people's businesses as their marketing department, so we know a lot of information about them, and we want them to trust us, and we want to trust them, and just be true partners. So it's been an amazing journey, and it switched over at some point in time where we had a ton of small projects to getting the bigger clients and being able to be like, you know what, this isn't a good fit for us, or this is a great fit for us. And so I feel very, very fortunate to have that opportunity to say, that's good, that's not good. So
And you get to work with your family too.
I do.
Like on top of all this.
I do. My sister actually has worked for us for about 11 years now. She moved into town to work for us, and that has been amazing. We have an artist who's been there over 10 years, and we have a lot of longevity, and I have brought family in, and it's been really cool.
How important was when you were getting ready to do this? Because I've known your sweet father, Judd Finney, for a very long time.
Yes.
How important was his kind of pushing you into this thing, going, "Hey, Wendy, you can do this. Just do it."
Yeah, you know he did.
Yeah,
that's what he does.
That's what he does.
He is an amazing attorney who just knows how to get things done and has this unbelievable confidence, and tried to instill that in me. That's something I've had to learn and still trying to learn. Yeah. But even when I would negotiate my contracts for television, he would go in and say, you need to ask for this, this, and this. And I was like, I can't do that. I can't do that. And he was like, all they can say is no. So I'd go in there scared as I could be and ask for it, and they'd say yes. And so it really helps me throughout my professional life to gain that confidence. But he was a huge player when it came to jumping off and starting my own business, for sure. He was there for me to talk to about any issues we had. He helped set us up legally. It was just amazing. He has been his own boss for so long. He was like, this is where you need to be, and this is how we're going to get it done.
I remember when I was working with you, because I had already had my real estate license. This is when you were buying your own place.
Yes.
And got to work with Judd on that. And so as a realtor working with a lawyer who's it was a really fun experience. He dots all his I's, crosses his T's,
Known
and
for
he
it,
just is. He was a big force in Amarillo for so many years. And happy birthday, Judd Finney. I know.
Yeah.
I don't know when this is going to air, but I know we're in the kind of the ballpark. We're
Yeah.
recording it now, but it's next week, right?
It's the 10th. He'll be 80 years old on
10/10.
November 10th. Yep, that's exactly right. Crazy.
Man, what a wild ride.
It's been wild. We've been going through pictures and seeing stuff, and the guy has lived a storied life
Yeah.
to be envied by all. So.
Well, I know he's proud of you too, because Wendy, it's not every day that you get to have not only just one career, the many careers that you've just stepped on through, and I can't wait to see like that next thing, that
Yeah.
next arc for you.
Absolutely.
I want to talk to you about Friends of AJ Swope
Yes.
now. I know how important that is, and for those of you who didn't know AJ Swope, I know this is not like he was a darling human being. I know that's a weird way for another person to. He was darling in every way. He's incredibly talented and just so congenial. And you got to call him your hubby.
Yes.
And how important is the work that you've been able to do to make sure that generations down the road are going to be like, who's this AJ Swope?
Yes. Well, the opportunity's just been astounding. Another group of people who just adored AJ came together and wanted to put together a nonprofit for him. And anyone who's lost someone in a traumatic way or unexpectedly knows that you kind of have to decide which way you're going to go. You can stay in the dark, which you are in the dark no matter what for a while. But you choose to stay in the dark, or you claw your way out of it. And a lot of times that's done by finding a purpose. And so this was our purpose and my purpose. So this group of people came together and started this without me, and then invited me to come into the Friends of AJ Swope, which of course I said yes. And so it's, for all of us, it has just been at first it was very healing. And now I'm just so proud. I'm proud of the person he was, the impact he left on this earth just in the short time he was here, and just, he was congenial. He never met a stranger, and he just knew how to command a room and loved people, would go and sit down next to people he didn't know and just strike up a conversation because he wanted to know about him. And it was really heartfelt to see how many people, just to the impact he left on this community. So to be able to carry that, even though he's not here in this world with us, but to be able to have his influence still here and doing good things, it's just been wonderful.
AJ was a phenomenal broadcasting student at West Texas A&M, graduated, went to work at Channel 7, and was so good on air. There are people that try to get into this business, and sometimes it just doesn't work. Like the minute he went on, you're like, oh, okay, you're supposed to be here. Yeah. And for those who work in television, starting out, the money's not always great, right? Yeah. We're 28 years, Wendy, but he did such a good job and was so great at what he did. He gets recruited. He gets another phenomenal job, and that's how Wes Reeves comes into this. But you're right. He was taken far too soon, but his legacy, thanks to you and the Friends of AJ Swope, will be around for a very long time. For those of you who don't know, please look into the AJ Swope, the Friends of AJ Swope, and all the wonderful, great things that they have working on. And so that now leads us into the project that you're working on with the Texas Panhandle First Responders Memorial.
Yes.
And we are in this big push.
Yes.
How much money have you guys raised so far?
As of this afternoon, $872,253.
So what do we got to do to break ground?
We are trying to get to $1 million, so we need about $127,000 more. So our goal is by the end of this year to break ground. We're working with Sims and Architects and Southwest General Contractors, and we actually went ahead a few weeks ago and told Sims to go ahead and go to the next process of getting bids, so we can actually have hard numbers and legit numbers to get ready to go at the end of the year. So when we started this campaign with Channel 4, which is the beginning of September, it's kind of weird because when you're raising money, foundations give you time limits. And so we had a certain amount of money, but we didn't hit a time limit. So that got taken back. Now we've reapplied, so it's kind of a back and forth kind of thing. But so $872,000 in the bank today.
Yeah.
We'd like to have $1 million to get started, but so that's what we're working on with Channel 4, and you guys have stepped up in a real big way.
Here's why this is important to us as a company at KMR Local 4, is these first responders, these men and women who, what it takes to do that. It doesn't matter if you're a police officer, sheriff's department, you work in the comms department, fire department, it doesn't matter, right? You sacrifice so much to be there. You sacrifice late nights with your family. Sometimes you miss ball games.
Yeah.
Sometimes you miss these things. And so as a community, they protect and serve us all the time. This is the least that we can do. And I'm going to tell you, like, it was emotional for me when you guys put up your website, because I was trying to think, do we have, how many like first responders do we have in our area? And then when I pulled up the list, and I want you guys to do this, Texas Panhandle First Responders Memorial.org, and then just go to the honorees. And as you scroll down there, you realize how many people that we have lost.
Yes.
And we're adding to that list every day.
Every day. We had 2 added last year, unfortunately. Yeah, there's 45 area first responding agencies who have lost someone. And it's so we're here to try to absolutely honor every single one of them. These people are the gold standard in our community. Like you said, they're so selfless. They every day they go out there and do something to help people they don't even know. They're responding to, the police are responding to our calls, our accidents, AMS. When we have a health issue, they're the first ones there. If our houses catch on fire, I mean, these people don't know any of us, but they are on call to come and save our day, you know, and save our families and help us. And there's just nobody else like that. And so to think about the fact that so many of them did not come home because they left their families to go help someone else is just, it's heartbreaking. So it's an honor for us to be able to honor them.
They got dressed that day to go serve and protect, and they never made it home. So this is the least that we can do. So that's why we're here at KMR Local 4. We are all on board with you guys about this, because I think it is a way for us to say thank you. And it's not enough, right? But it's the least that we can do. And then when you look at the list and you go back to, there's people on the list from 1927 all the way up to current. And again, you guys are adding to the list in that if there's somebody that's not on the list that maybe passed away in another decade, please bring them to the forefront.
Absolutely. We have a list of advisors from first responding agencies who helped us get the initial list. So it's Lucinda Russell with DPS helped us get all of those across the region from DPS and the fire department and police department, but there's so many we don't know about. We had a gentleman reach out to us on the website about a railroad investigator for Santa Fe, and he passed away here. We had a Texas Ranger who, in a wild, wild story, was actually killed by a Potter County deputy sheriff in cold blood in the county attorney's office. Now, this was back in 1909 when it was wild times, but the stories are just amazing.
Where did that happen?
So this MP Doc Thomas had come to Amarillo between 1907 and 1909. The Texas Rangers brought a ton of people here to try to stop the bootlegging in Amarillo. And everybody left except for this Texas Ranger, MP Doc Thomas. And he decided to stay. And he didn't think the Potter County Sheriff, sorry, Sheriff Thomas, this was a long time ago. He didn't think the sheriff's office was doing its job to make sure that the bootleggers didn't start up again. So he stayed in Amarillo. And the sheriff's office and him were in this fight. They didn't want him here, and he was accusing them of not doing their jobs. He ended up at the county attorney's office talking to someone about the issue with the Potter County Sheriff's Department.
What?
And a deputy sheriff came in and shot him while he sat there with his hands clasped in his lap, his feet up on the desk, his gun still in his holster, just shot and killed him. So that Potter County Sheriff's deputy went to jail because he murdered him in cold blood. And then when he got out of jail, came back to Amarillo. And here's the best part of the story.
This is I've lived here my entire life and I've never heard this story.
I know. Becomes the Amarillo police chief.
What?
I know.
I thought we've had
wild.
Controversy over the last few years. Good night.
I know. It was such a different time back then. It was wild. When we got this story, we were like, we have to read this 2 or 3 times. In fact, I reread it today because I knew that was one of the wildest stories we'd heard, just to make sure I had the details right. So, but we've had a lot of people reach out to us about people who might be missing on the memorial. I
Okay.
think we have most of them, but what we are looking for, Andy, is more stories about them. We
Yeah.
don't want this
To
the mo-
just be the names.
that's exactly right. Or
Yeah.
how they passed. I mean, that's a part of it, but how they lived is even more important. We are creating a website that will be connected to the memorial. So when people go out to that memorial, they're not just reading a name on a wall. They can actually go to the website, go to the page with this first responder. Our plan is to have their family tell us stories. We'll have pictures. Like there's going to be a
Yeah.
whole, anything we can get about them. But we want to tell their life and how they served and honorably and about their end of watch, but we don't want it to just be about that. We just want to honor them, the whole person.
And again, we've got names. I mean, I remember covering the Zeb Smith story
Yes, that's
out
one
of
of our
Fridge Fire
latest.
Department that was
Yes.
just in 2024.
Yes.
But we go all the way back to 1892,
Yes.
a constable in Donnelly County. So again, please go to the website, Texas Panhandle First Responders Memorial.org.
Yes, and we
check it
also
out.
have firstrespondersmemorial.org.
Okay. Got a few.
Yeah, because there's too many words in that first one.
Leave it to you to have multiple because you're always thinking. So how can people give? What do they do?
Absolutely. Well, online is the easiest way.
Okay.
They can go to firstrespondersmemorial.org, and we have a secure portal there that they can give. Or we've had checks coming in, 1608 South Washington here in Amarillo is where we take those checks. So if someone
Okay.
wants to put one in the mail, that's where it goes. We actually, it's been really cool to see as we started this public campaign with Channel 4. I mean, we've been talking about it for years, and we felt like everyone had kind of heard from us, but you just never know how many people haven't heard
Yeah.
until you go down a different avenue. So we started this campaign with you guys, and people have come out of the woodworks to donate. We got a $10,000 donation yesterday from an
That's
individual
great.
in Amarillo, which was just, we were just pleased as punch. So it's
That's
been
great.
really cool.
Angel just popped it up, and we were while we were talking, he was kind of bringing it through there. The website looks beautiful, and the renderings look amazing. So let's talk about where this is
Yeah,
going to be when we break ground.
Absolutely. This is going to be at 11th and Polk, which is right next door to the Chamber of Commerce. It's the southwest corner of
Yeah.
that intersection. Right now, there's a little pocket park there. It was
Mhm.
Amarillo's first best pocket park, and it had water there.
Oh, wow.
So we have the plumbing there to go ahead and have the water there. But it was back in August 16th, 2022, the city agreed to lease that piece of land to us for $1 a year in perpetuity.
I love that word, perpetuity.
I know.
Goes on and on and on
Forever.
and on.
And then at the same time, we had a local business that wishes to remain anonymous agree to take care of all the upkeep, so the mowing and the maintenance of it once it's built in perpetuity. So we've got all of that taken care of, and that's where it'll be, right there at 11th and Polk, and it's going to be amazing. It's one of the only little spots on Polk right there that hasn't gone through the revitalization and the streetscaping. So
Yeah.
we're hoping to finish that little part right there. Tears has given us money to help with
Oh,
that.
so
So
good.
yeah,
And what a great location, because you're right next to the Chamber of Commerce. But if you're downtown there, what a solemn moment, because you got First
Yes.
Baptist Church right
Yes.
down the street.
yes.
It just is a really wonderful spot. I can't wait for us to hit that mark, so that way we can break ground and we can do these things. If somebody wants to help out, whether maybe they're saying they're going, I want to give, I want to do that, but is there any other ways that people can help out? Maybe they serve and contribute.
Spreading the word would
Yeah.
be the best thing, really. Just making sure people know what's going on and that we're at the ending stages of trying to get this fundraising done. Other than that, we've had some people just last week. Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna think of the name of the company, and I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
But it's a quilting company locally that reached out to us, and they said, we have made 2 quilts for first responders. We just want you to take them, and we want you to do whatever you can to raise money with them.
Oh,
So Quilt Wink, I think is what it was.
their slogan is "We've got you covered." Maybe.
But I
I'm
think
kidding.
it
Should
is
be-
now.
should-
No, but they're right across the
Yeah.
street from Hobby Lobby. So I didn't even know what was going on. I went in there, and the ladies took me back there. They'd made 2 quilts and gave them to us and said, do whatever you can. So even
Yeah.
just small things like that. People are coming out of the woodworks. If they can't give money, there's other ways they're helping. Trips Harley Davidson has done 2
They're so
raffle
good.
runs. They're so good. 2 raffle runs for us and raised over $17,000. And aside from that, Laura and Terry Tripp, there was a nonprofit that was winding down, a Share the Road nonprofit, and they had money in their coffers. And so Terry Tripp was like, I want it to go to First Responders Memorial. So we got a portion of that. So it's not, there's a lot of different ways people can help, even if it's just saying, hey, Wendi, I know someone who might be interested in participating or being a donor to this. We'd be happy to make those connections and reach out to people and talk to them. But really, it's just kind of opening the doors. We're a group of people. None of us are fundraisers. We have a fundraising expert helping us, Miss Linda Pittner, but the rest of us are just regular old Joes. You know, fundraising is quite a talent. There's a lot to it.
And Emerald has some really good ones.
Oh, yeah.
If you can do it, there is always a job. You and I are connectors of people, right? Like the fundraising is a whole different level. So for those of you who get out there and do that, whether it's for the High Plains Food Bank or for the first responders, thank you.
Yes.
It is a gifting. Wendi, thank you so much for coming in. And again, I just think what you guys are doing it's easy to get behind. And just, I've been lucky to call you a friend all these years. And who would have thought meeting each other in 1998, here we are, all these years later.
I know.
Almost going on 3 decades.
It really dates us. I was just out of high school.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And we were at the station over by Wonderland Park.
Yes. God, we were all so young and just getting our feet wet. And then you ended up went to school at WT.
Yes.
And,
all through working at Channel 4.
Yeah.
I worked at
Blast from the past. Before we go, Ev Avra.
Yes.
Our first news director
Yes.
ever reached out to me. I just got a text from him the other day, just out of the blue.
Oh, I love it. He friend requested me on Facebook about 2 months ago. So I was so excited to see his name.
Yeah, he's doing really well. I mean, literally, I don't know about you, but I begged for a job. I wanted the job so bad. I was like, I don't have a resume. I don't have anything. I just want to work here. Will you just give me a chance? And
Yes.
that was back in October of 1997. And then they hired me. And then I started, I think it was like November 7th, 1997.
Yeah. He was one of the greatest news directors
Yeah, he was
we had.
good,
We
wasn't
had a lot of fun ones. Remember Phil Johnson?
Oh,
He always
my
smelled
gosh.
like cigarettes and coffee.
He just always, he wore suspenders. He wore suspenders. And he was a unique one.
He was. I
For
loved him.
sure.
You got to be on his good side though, because he wasn't afraid to tell you how it was. You know?
No, he is like just a blast from the past. When I think of like old news director-ish people,
Yeah.
I picture him.
Yeah.
You know, just
And then Nylin, and she's been here forever and does an
Yeah.
amazing job. Like it's been really cool to see her.
we
lately.
have been so lucky to be able to work together all of these years, and I don't think that I would have. Everybody asked me, I think even you, like, how are you doing? How are you staying so long? I think it's working with Nylan and honestly
Yeah.
working with Brandy. When you work with good
yeah.
people, it helps. And to have like Angel and Cheryl and Clint, all the people that I enjoy working with so much. It's a blessing.
This station is different than all the other stations, and it starts from the newsroom all the way to sales to Brandy, general manager. She's always been community driven, and it wasn't because Channel 4 could benefit from it. It's because our community could benefit from it, and that's amazing. And Nylin, I don't know how she does it, hasn't aged a day.
Not at all.
I mean, it's crazy. She looks amazing.
I will say this, and it is tooting our own horn, so to speak. But I'm just telling you, we try to get it right, and we try to keep it local, right? Because there's just so much stuff going on in the national picture and frame and everything, and we want to be so hyper focused what's happening not just in Amarillo, but in Canyon and Dalhart and Dumas and Fritch and Spearman, Stratford, all that stuff that matters so much to us. And again, it's our goal is to get it right, and then supporting, not just doing the news stories and saying, hey, here's Texas Panhandle First Responders Memorial. It's to be a part of it and to be invested in what's going on.
I've never reached out to Brandy and asked her for help with a nonprofit or a local project and her say no, ever. She is always on top of it. She thanks me for coming to her, which it should be opposite. And even this, your station, we sat down and came up with our plan on how to push this public campaign out. And you guys are going above and beyond like every day. I have people calling me from your station asking questions. I had a different producer today call to get the total to do a story. Rochelle's been doing tons of stuff, did a great story. So it's just amazing to have this KMR Local 4 power
Yeah,
behind
well,
this final push. So thank you guys.
well, anytime, we could help,
Yeah.
we try to, but more importantly for me, just having you as a friend,
Yeah.
that I'd go to the ends of the earth for you.
Great. I need $127,000.
Let me see what I got in my. Let me see what it's not in there. I have 2 teenage daughters, as it turns out. There's no cash in there at all. Wendi, thank you so much for coming. And then again, one more time, where can people reach out and help?
FirstRespondersMemorial.org. That's the
All
best place to go. They can donate, get more info, see information about the honorees. Got a little bit of everything on that website.
Well, I said, when I called her, I said, let's talk about it. We've talked about it. We're wrapping things up, and hopefully we come back here in a week or so with some good news where
Yes.
we've raised that money. I know that there's a donor out there that has the ability to cut a check,
I think so too.
and to get us over the finish line. So we'll just cross our fingers for that. And Wendi, good chatting with you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me,
You
Andy.
bet.